another pick a pile video. I hope you guys are doing super well. So today we are doing the topic, how can you spiritually evolve or spiritually grow in the near future. So we kind of have a look at the things that you can focus on and any other various ways that you can just basically grow or evolve on a more spiritual level. And when we say spiritual, we mean it on like a holistic level, whether it be like emotionally, personally, mentally, physically, spiritually. We'll find out exactly where you need to focus in order to essentially lift your frequency. So before we jump into the pile selections, if you're interested in a private reading with me, check out the description box below for my Instagram information. Over there I do weekly horoscopes and mini style pick a piles, various other content, but that's also where you book the private readings with me. And I also do sort of like once a month or so, give or take. I do specials as well where there's like Instagram readings that are quite cheap and people seem to like those. So if you're interested in reaching out to me for a private reading, check out the info down there. All of the decks that I use will be listed down below as well as the timestamps, which I seem to be having trouble linking lately, but at least the time will be there. If the link's not there, the time will be there so that you can just scroll ahead at any time. But for now, let's get into the pile selections. So pile 1, your card is number 11, and it is the Ark of the Covenant. So you might be drawn to either the number 11 or the imagery of the card or the energy of the card in this circumstance. Group 2, your card is number 13, and it's the Buddha Prepares. And group number 3, your card is number 10, and it's the Light of the World. So guys, if you need to pause the video and just center yourself to figure out which pile is the best one for you, then do so. But yeah, I'm going to leave you guys there and jump into each pile. Hello group 1, welcome to your reading on how you can spiritually grow or spiritually evolve in the near future. So you guys were drawn to this card here. You may have been drawn to either the number 11 or maybe something to do with the imagery on the card. But either way, for this first card for each group, I'm going to read the message directly from the book because this particular guidebook is very, very detailed and very specific, and it's quite different to general decks. So I'd like to read it to you in full. So this card, the meaning here is the stars are shining on a serene desert night. Fires burn before a number of white tents. Inside one of the tents, just beyond the open front flaps, sorry, I'm such a child. Could they not have used any other vocabulary at all? I'm so sorry. Okay, just beyond the open front flaps rests the Ark of the Covenant. 2 men sit by a crackling fire. At the most mundane level, this card can represent a beneficial legal contract or title transfer. It can also show successfully working with professionals such as brokers and lawyers. More often, it indicates that you are living true to your own karmic contract, facing your lessons of growth, working toward greater discoveries, and bringing your unique contribution to the world. Your karma does not rule you, you rule your karma. When the work becomes too great, taking a rest doesn't break with your covenant, it supports it. You understand the phases of time and energy, and you work within those phases. Some of your karmic directives at this time may involve other people. If so, make sure there is no urgency, need, or personal agenda in play. Don't let yourself get pulled into an emotional drama. Know that things that require your attention now reflect a commitment that has a far-reaching influence that may impact your present as well as your future lives. So continue to work toward your highest purpose, to uphold the sacred covenant you have to touch the world with your light. So that's that card in full. So it's really about sort of discovering your life's purpose and then engaging in that work and making it your life's work. It's about facing your lessons head on, not avoiding them, understanding that there's a reason behind everything and that you will possess or, you will inherit greater wisdom from each experience that you that you do encounter in your life. So you have something very unique to offer the world. Everyone comes here with something very unique to offer the world, and this is about going on that journey to first discover it and then start to make it something tangible in your life that essentially can help you and help others. And when I say help you, I mean help you survive. So maybe in terms of like making an income, or it might make you really, really happy and bring you a lot of joy, or it could be of service to the world as well. So that's your main card, and now we're going to get some other information. So at the moment it looks like the best way that you can spiritually grow or spiritually ascend, depending on which part of the journey you're at, is to either go within and really discover your purpose, your mission, what you have to contribute to the world, or start to implement it in real life and take the small steps to begin to make it something tangible, or just to persist and to continue growing and expanding on it if you already know what it is. But we will get some more cards. We will get a few I think I'll go Oracle before I go Tarot, actually. And I think I'm going to start with the Work Your Light. So how can Group 1 spiritually evolve or grow in the near future? How can Group 1 spiritually grow or spiritually evolve in the near future? You're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. So perhaps you actually already have begun this journey, and you're simply either overthinking, or maybe you're like losing faith. And this is just telling you you're actually already growing, you're already evolving. You're just maybe beginning to doubt yourself or overthink it. So just continue on your path, keep facing your true north. You already seem to know or have an idea about where you're going. And Spirit here is kind of telling you that you're actually already completely on the right track and you're already growing and ascending. In a temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So they are letting you know that you could potentially tune in to your heart space a little bit more. So I can see here that she looks like she's very meditative there. And this is really about sort of finding stillness and tuning into your heart space to check in with how you're doing, how you're feeling. Is there anything that you're holding in your heart that you need to release? Kind of just checking in and reconnecting in with yourself to make sure that you are good on a physical and emotional and mental level. I do feel like you could probably devote yourself to yourself a little bit better. If you are someone that tends to be of service to others or be a bit of a giver, maybe you need to devote some of that energy to yourself and make sure that you're doing well, your cup's full, and you're feeling loved, lovable, and worthy of love in general. And get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives connect with nature. Yeah, so you're definitely someone who has already spiritually awakened, and it looks like you're already on the right path towards bringing your purpose to fruition, whatever that may be in your story. And while you're going through this period of overthinking and self-doubt, it's definitely a good time for you to get into nature and ground your energy with Mother Earth. Let the Mother Earth hold you and support you beneath you, and just take it all away. You could definitely be absorbing some of the collective anxiety and fear that's in the world at the moment, because there is a lot of that. And it seems as though if you get into nature, you can ground all that, and she can really take all of that excess energy that doesn't belong to you right away from you, and just help you reconnect to your inner light. How can group 1 spiritually evolve or spiritually ascend at the moment? Earthed, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. So this very similar energies here. This is about getting grounded, because as a star seed, or as a sort of multi-dimensional intergalactic being, your soul is not originally from this world, from the earth. So it's a difficult, any souls that have, or even the souls that maybe haven't incarnated on earth, it's very widespread knowledge that earth is one of the hardest reincarnations or hardest incarnations to come to, because of the polarity that exists here. A lot of the other galaxies, they exist on unconditional love and very, very high frequencies where this type of thing doesn't exist. Like, this is a real challenge to come to the earth especially during these times. But this is remembering that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and being gentle with yourself. And literally the best thing you can do is to get grounded, because the more that you're in your physical body and you're present in the earth, the less sort of disassociated and detached you're going to be from everything that is going on. Because I think that detachment is a thing that happens when you're overwhelmed, whether you realize it or not. So to help you not be overwhelmed, you need to get grounded, get yourself in the earth, get present, and remind yourself that I'm a human in this earth. I'm present, and it's just one of the best ways that you're going to be able to get through each day, really, is just making sure that you're very grounded and very present. Okay. Your cards are all so very similar in meaning. We've got Earth School, again, learning on this new school called Earth, learning these life lessons that you haven't had to learn before. Your soul growing in new ways, study, high learning, literally learning how to be a human and how to exist in this 3D world. I think it's also about remembering that you signed up for all of these lessons before you came here. So at one point your soul knew exactly what you were getting into. So this is literally what you came for. You came here for this. So that should be enough to let you know that you can get through anything that you need to. So all of these lessons that you may have been facing up until now were all for your soul growth, to get you to where you needed to be for this part of your journey, for this exact part of your journey. Empathic starseed. as I said, it's like you're absorbing things that don't belong to you. The collective energy seems to be rubbing off because you're not getting grounded and present in your own body. So the energy around you is just sort of starting to get foggy, heavy potentially as well. So absorbing what's not yours, obviously you need to get rid of that energy. So the earth is the best way to do that. White sage, cleansing, sound cleansing, meditation. And the way that I'm seeing this mirror is like honestly reflecting and looking deeper into what you're feeling and asking yourself, is this mine or does it belong to someone else? Like, have I absorbed this from somewhere else? All right, so we'll get a few tarot cards and see. Oh, I think I really want to use this deck, but I don't feel like that's the right one. Is there any sort of advice that we can offer group one in terms of the messages that we're receiving? Any practical advice or anything to add? How can group one spiritually grow? We've got the Seven of Swords, the Empress, the Six of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. Underneath, we've got the Lovers. Okay, so I feel as though there are people stealing your energy or things, situations stealing your energy at the moment. So you could potentially need to look at who you're surrounding yourself with or what you're surrounding yourself with, whether it's like too much technology, toxic people, energy vampires, because something's taking your energy. The Empress in reverse would mean that you're like depleted, you're lacking self-love, your cup's quite drained, and you're giving too much away to other people. And the Seven of Swords is a taker or a thief, someone stealing, draining, taking. And that's why you're struggling to see things in like a positive perspective or struggling to see the success in what you're creating or building at the moment. So as soon as you kind of correct that and start to pour into yourself, or even half of what you're pouring into others, into yourself, I do feel like this inner harmony between you and your higher self, you and your higher mission, is all going to come back into balance. I just feel like you need to invest into yourself, your inner harmony, your spirit. And that's the key to resolving this situation and potentially being a little bit more selfish with your energy with certain people if that resonates for you and there is someone coming to mind that could be taking energy from you. I think that it would be practical to consider whether you can cut them off or distance yourself or just cut their supply off in some way. So yeah, really investing in that inner harmony with yourself. I'm not seeing this as a connection with anybody else. I'm seeing that as in investing your energy into yourself, your health, your mind, your body, your alignment, your inner harmony. Again, and just really loving yourself. So we might finish up with maybe an affirmation and a spirit animal. All right, so what's the best affirmation for group one? I follow my inner wisdom. I'll just hold it there for a second in case you want to screenshot it or write it down. And we'll go into the elongated version on the back. This says, I am at peace with my own being. I love myself and trust that I am making the right choices. Yes, definitely. So, you are making the right choices following your path. You should trust in yourself, trust in your journey, trust in the universe. And also the right choices for you seem to be really putting a little bit more energy into yourself, and perhaps not giving so much of your energy away to other people who aren't reciprocating or who don't deserve it. So it's not saying that you have to completely cut the supply off to everybody. It's just those who don't deserve it or those who just take. All right, so spirit animal, please, for group 1. So with the spirit animals, I will set the intention that spirit shows those resonating with this pile, the animal sometime in some way, shape or form. We do have one, it's at the bottom. I'll just keep it hidden for a second. So this could be in creative ways, like on social media or in artwork, on TV, on a billboard, in a magazine. But we do ask spirit to show you this animal as validation of the messages that you're receiving. But this piece of advice is also something that you can refer back to in the near future, to kind of just bring you back to this reading, or just that helpful advice that can kind of apply in general. Oh wow, we had this coming through. The hedgehog, acceptance, embrace who you are. So yeah, this is about loving yourself, embracing the fact that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and you're just learning like everybody else. We're all here to learn. We go through our lessons, we gain wisdom, we leave this life and we reincarnate to reface the lessons that we didn't learn or chose not to graduate. So it's really just an endless cycle of coming back to keep learning. So embrace who you are, embrace your mistakes, embrace your past for making it who you are today. And yeah, just accept that you came here for this and you are a powerful spiritual being having a human experience. I know you don't want to hear it again, so I stopped, but I was like, well, it's kind of appropriate. All right, so that's your message, group 1. I hope you've enjoyed that today. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, I will have a reading out for the next new moon coming out on the day of the new moon. Well, it will be the day of the new moon according to Perth time in Australia, but for everybody that sees it, that depends on where you are in the world. But on the day of the new moon for me, I'll be posting a new moon reading, which is just a bit of sort of ascension guidance for the fortnight to follow it, to help you kind of work with the moon's energy and sort of just navigate through that fortnight. So that will be out on the day of the new moon. Other than that, if this is where I leave you, take care, guys. Don't forget to like if this was helpful or if it resonated for you. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. Hello, group 2. Welcome to your reading on how you can spiritually evolve or grow. We're going to dive in and take a bit of a look at the things that you can do, or where you can sort of place your focus in ways that can help you grow as a person on mental, emotional, spiritual level. Obviously, spiritual means sort of holistic, and in terms of your whole being's well-being, if that makes sense. So the way that I'm going to start this reading is I'm going to read the cards meaning from the book, because this deck is very detailed. It's very different to standard decks, and I find that the information is usually really helpful. So we're going to quickly read the message and then we'll get into the rest of the reading. Okay, So number 13, you might have been either drawn to the number 13 or you might have been drawn to the imagery in the card, but we'll jump in. The Buddha sits meditating. The hills in the background are dotted with other people meditating and patiently waiting for him to speak, but he won't move a muscle until he is ready. This card shows a time of inner preparation before action. Before you can reach outside yourself, you must reach within to find your power, your purpose, and your direction. This period of time may feel a little like waiting, and it appears so in your exterior life because some points of action seem to be at a standstill. Really though, you're just taking the time that you require to prepare and to truly step into your power. I'm seeing this is page 77, so maybe you're seeing the number 77. Don't be in a hurry. The time to act is coming, and when it's here, your strength will be absolute. So this card's just sort of making the most of the preparation time, understanding that there's value in each part of the journey, and even though it seems like nothing's happening, it's just important for you to sort of gather yourself, gather your thoughts, gather your feelings. Just gather yourself for what's coming next, because it seems like you're going to need your energy for what is coming next. So have faith that even though you can't see the growth is still there and it is still occurring. Another message I get from this is, the book touches on it, but to go a little bit deeper is not worrying about other people's expectations or the pressure of other people, or the opinions of other people. Like the book said, there's all these people meditating in the background waiting for the Buddha to speak, but he won't do so until he's ready. So until you're ready, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to make a move. You don't need to make a sound. You don't need to address any questions, any comments, any opinions. Maybe you aren't even really meant to speak about what you're planning with people because of that energy that can kind of become an interference. Maybe this is all about just keeping to yourself and focusing on your inner world in preparation for what's about to take place in your outer one. All right, so the next things we are going to do is we're going to get some Work Your Light Oracle cards. So how can group 2 spiritually ascend or spiritually grow, spiritually evolve, whatever you would like to call it? Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic and Teacher. The Crumbling, What are you clinging on to? And that came out for another group as well. And that's Get Grounded, Empaths, Highly Sensitives, Connect with Nature. All right, so the Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. You've definitely come into this life with gifts and talents from previous lifetimes where you have been some type of mystic, some type of spiritual teacher or spiritual healer, or some type of, when I think of priestess, I think of like almost like a preacher, but not a preacher, someone who was really looked up to. People were very inspired by you, and people really listened to what you had to say. So in a past life, you have definitely been in an energy like this where you definitely inspired people, and you were some type of mystic, and you offered your guidance and your wisdom and your teachings to other people, and that's definitely something that you've carried over into this life and that you may be preparing to grow or expand on in this life. So whether it's some type of holistic healing or some type of spiritual healing or knowledge that you've acquired, you're definitely a vessel for source to kind of get messages out or get helpful information out or just teach like mystic and spiritual knowledge to others. It could definitely be through a sisterhood or through a brotherhood. Maybe you're meant to form a sisterhood or form a brotherhood or form some type of spiritual community where it involves group healing and collective healing. Can definitely see that. The next card is the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? So this is a card obviously of holding on to something and not being willing to let it go. So we might pull a clarifier on that and ask what you're clinging on to. The crumbling. Can we find out what group 2 is clinging on to? What's this crumbling card about? Okay, so pretty much the only thing I can get through with the Ace of Cups, what are you clinging on to, is this idea that either you need love to be happy or you're clinging on to when's love going to come into my life, when am I going to find the one. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I can think of that you could be clinging on to with the Ace of Cups. Clinging on to maybe emotions, but it's the Ace of Cups, so there's something to do with the beginning. So I do feel like you're very attached to the idea of love entering your life or when it's going to enter your life. So I do feel like perhaps you are most likely single if you've picked this pile, and it's quite a big focus point for you. Is there another option? Like, is there something else for some others if they don't resonate with that? What's group 2 clinging on to? 7 of Swords, clinging on to betrayal, deceit, lies, cheating, dishonesty. So maybe in the past. So maybe you want new love, but you're clinging on to old people or old situations that betrayed you and not quite letting that go in order for new love to come in. That's too many there. We'll get one more and see if that's the message there. Okay, so those ones wanted to flip out, but this one I'm not really wanting to flip out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I hardly ever read the 3 of Cups as a third-party situation card or a cheating card or an affair card. But straight up in this one, I think that you guys were cheated on or betrayed by someone that meant a lot to you. And it has caused a very, very deep wound that you need to completely let go of in order to release this entire situation and person and all of the feelings associated with this in order to find what it is that you're actually looking for. So during this time of preparation, I do feel as though you are meant to go within and figure out a way to release this to prepare you for what's happening next. Because if you carry this baggage into the new cycle where this new love is going to enter your life, it's going to carry that old energy into the new cycle. And guess what? You're going to have a repeating cycle on your hands, and that's not what you want. So in this time of nothingness, that when it seems like nothing's happening, this is where you need to do that preparation work, and you need to release what's not serving you, in order to make this brand new cycle one that's full of love, and one that you're able to take with both hands and drink the cup to its fullest. So that is the crumbling card there. And then obviously get grounded. As an empath or a highly sensitive person, you do take on the thoughts, feelings, burdens, emotions of others. And if you're not protected and not, in a high enough frequency, you can be a bit of a sponge where you just suck it all in, and it's very hard to then let it all go. So nature is going to be your best friend, to release anything that you're taking on from other people that doesn't belong to you. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can get from that card. It's really just about spending time in nature to get grounded and really release the energies that you're carrying that aren't really yours to be carrying. So we will get tarot, and we will... No, actually we're going to get, one more oracle deck before we go to tarot. We're going to use the Starseed deck now. I forgot that we were just clarifying that one card. Oh, come on. So group 2, how can group 2 spiritually grow or spiritually evolve at the moment / in the near future? And I need to finish on a good one. Can we please make this one? Yay. How can group 2 spiritually evolve? Hiraeth. One day I'll look up the pronunciation of that if I can find it. It says longing for home, homesick for the stars. Earthed. I'm laughing because that came out in the group before, and so did this one. It looks like the collective theme for every single pile is get grounded. And inner earth. You will survive this, new solutions and beginnings. So to quickly break these cards down before we go into the tarot. Oh my God, my ear's hurting from these headphones to hold this mic in. How can I do this? Yes, perfect. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't sound annoying for you guys, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but we're going to be going with this anyway, so sorry. Okay, so this card here, this is basically acknowledgement that you're a starseed, and sometimes you can sort of have this feeling of being homesick or just not feeling like you belong, or just this craving to be at home quite a lot, where you're the most comfortable, where you can just be yourself and be away from how insane the world can be at sometimes. So because you're originally from these other dimensions and these other galaxies where they exist on frequencies of unconditional love, and they're way more ascended than this earth realm, it can be hard to get by in the day-to-day of this life. It can be quite hairy. It can be quite heavy for a soul that's used to sort of love and light to come down to earth, where it's this polarity of love and light, but then there's also darkness and evil and corruption and things like that. So it takes a toll, and it can really cause this inner feeling of just not belonging, or just wanting to just get away or escape, or you can even look for forms of escapism to kind of escape this life, because it's just so hard to deal with it sometimes. So remembering that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and you're learning for yourself, like your soul is learning this human journey as well. It can help you be a little bit kinder to yourself. It reminds you that getting grounded and present is very important, because you are a human. You're not just a spirit or a frequency or a soul. You know, you're here in a human body. You need to eat, drink water, sleep, rest, and do those things. You can't just be, you know, on the go all the time, or busy all the time, or spiritual all the time, or logical all the time. Like we have to experience it all, the whole spectrum of emotions and feelings and actions and all of that. So you know, you're doing the best you can, and being grounded and present as often as possible, rather than trying to escape, is actually the real or the correct way to help you feel better. And then the Inner Earth card here, you'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. I do feel like this is talking about what's to come for you. So we did have the Buddha saying, the Buddha prepares card, giving you that message of being in preparation for something that's about to begin. And then when we clarified the crumbling, we did have the Ace of Cups. So you will survive this temporary phase. You will survive this letting go that you need to do. And it will bring about new solutions and beginnings, which look to be beautiful once you step through that cave. So, you know, that looks like a bloody heaven, really, if you ask me, in that card. So, you know, you will survive, everything will be okay, and there'll be new solutions and new beginnings that come out of this. And, you know, a beautiful journey looks like it can begin if you can do your part in the matter. Sorry, excuse me, that was probably super close to the microphone. I apologize. We might... Yes, it's time for tarot now. I just wanted to make sure, because I jumped the gun before, didn't I? Which deck do we want to use, please? The same. Okay. We're using the same deck. Okay, so Spirit, is there anything that I have missed, or is there anything that you wish to add in terms of extra advice or any extra clarity that I might have missed for group 2 on how they can spiritually evolve or spiritually grow? We've got the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Wands in reverse. I don't even know if I'm taking reverses, but 4 of Wands, I did in the last group, so, and the World in reverse on the bottom, 10 of Swords in reverse. Okay. So we definitely have, you know, that underlying energy underneath the deck there is that ending that you're resisting, that final piece of the puzzle that you need to let go in order to really accept this new phase that's to come in. So the 8 of Cups definitely validates that, because the 8 of Cups is moving away or moving out of a comfort zone or something that you've held on to in comfort or maybe even in fear, and overcoming your fear, overcoming your the emotions that are associated with this moving on or this letting go, and deciding to do what's best for you, and just really create a very new and stable foundation to build something very solid upon. So escaping this comfort zone that you've clung to, whatever you've been holding on to. You know, it doesn't look like it's serving you anymore, but maybe you haven't necessarily been willing already to let it go. But now it looks as though for your own stability and for your just for your own overall well-being, I feel like it's time to finally maybe close that cycle out, close that chapter, and really allow space for the new chapter to come in. I do feel like it's creating space for a new partnership to be formed. The Four of Wands is a very sort of, it's a card about commitment and celebration, and like a relationship that's like going to go the distance. So I feel like, you know, closing out this previous cycle is going to help open you up to something like that, you know, something that can go the distance, something that's stable and reliable. Because by closing out this old cycle and showing the universe that you're not going to settle for that any longer, they can kind of deliver you what's worthy of you, essentially. All right, so we're going to give you an affirmation, and then we'll give you a spirit animal card to wrap it up. So what is group 2's affirmation here, please, to help them grow or evolve? I'm in harmony with nature. I'm in harmony with all of life, the sun, the moon, the winds, the rain, the earth. So again, you're being asked to get into nature, ground your energies. But also this looks like, I'm kind of just picking up the message that you're being encouraged to work with, you know, the cosmic elements. So, you know, the sun, the moon, the earth in general. The winds and the rain I'm not as drawn to, but the sun and the moon, it's making me think of like learning the moon cycles, learning about, because you're having to do some release work and leave some things behind, it's just making me think that maybe, you know, full moon rituals to kind of do your release work, and then new moon rituals to do your intention setting and your attraction work. That could be something that benefits you, because finding the right time, it's almost like the universe will be helping you, if your intentions, helping you with your intentions. So yeah, learning those cycles could be very helpful. Also, if you're, you know, your moods can be very sort of, if they can fluctuate a lot, I think this card's letting you know that you're just very in tune with nature and in harmony with life. So your mood might fluctuate with the sun, the moon, the winds, the rain, what's happening in the earth, the people, etc., etc. So again, getting grounded to make sure that you're just sort of not carrying anything that's not yours is really going to be super beneficial to you. And then we'll get you a spirit animal, which we ask spirit to show you the animal in creative ways, following viewing the reading sometime, just sort of to validate the messages that you're receiving, but also because that animal will offer you a piece of advice that you can come back to every time you see it. Okay, so what's group 2's animal, please? Oh, the leaf cutter ant. Army of life, ask for help, seek support, you're not alone. So if you need to ask for help with this, that's okay. If this is painful and you need support, that's okay. If you need advice, that's okay. If you need help with anything, that's okay. This could even come down to like with You're Not Alone, we've got the home here. If responsibilities and burdens at home are getting too much, then there is help that you can turn to get the support that you need. You're not alone. You don't have to feel alone. I feel like there's more people around you than you realise that can help you, and or just be a support system for you. But yeah, you don't have to feel like you're the only one going through all this. I feel like there are people around you who would understand. Maybe there's even someone that you could talk to, or a community that you could join. Or maybe you are the person to create this community of people that are like you, going through these same things spiritually, and maybe you're the one here to create something like this, because we did have that kind of indication coming through. So who knows, we could look at it that way too. Obviously ants are quite common, so maybe you're going to see ants in this kind of shape, this like backwards letter Z. That could be a thing. Or maybe you're just going to have an ant kind of like in a really strange spot, like a random ant crawls across your dinner plate, or like, I don't know, it's in your car on the steering wheel when you're driving, or something really random. Otherwise, if you're seeing like a lot of ants in real life, then maybe it's like this, or maybe you see it on social media or something. But yeah, ants. So that's your message, group 2. Give it a thumbs up if it resonated for you. If you're already kind of feeling that this is resonating with you and you need to vent or anything like that, drop a comment if you feel comfortable with it. Subscribe for future uploads if you're interested in hearing from me. And other than that, guys, take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading on how you can spiritually evolve or spiritually grow, sort of now and in the near future. I hope you guys are doing super well. So we are going to jump into your reading. If you've been drawn to group 3, you've been drawn to this card here. So maybe you've been drawn to the number 10, or perhaps you've been drawn to the imagery in some way, or the energy that's coming off the card in some way. Maybe you have a cat. But yeah, this is the card that you chose. And for this card and this card only, we will go to the book, because this deck is very different to a standard tarot deck. It's got very different meanings, and very specific meanings sometimes too for each card. So I do want to bring out this one in full detail, and then we'll do the rest as normal. So let's take a look at your first card. The Light of the World. An old sage holds a glowing lantern and knocks on a door with no latch. A young man is inside, too distracted to answer the knock. Your divine being is trying to get your attention. All it takes is a moment of your awareness to open the door. Though your life may be busy, the opportunity now presents itself for you to move into a higher state of awareness. It's a great time to open to your higher self and all of its wisdom and its powers. It is your soul, your eternal being, who approaches, but it's up to you and only you to open the door. You do that by taking real and regular action in knowing and feeling the wise and radiant being you are forever. Through meditation and study, you can own that enormous love, power, and vision. You can make every day sacred by going within. Once you do, you will know a radiant and greater power in every step and with every word. You will be able to bring this magnificent force to your world, changing your life forever. Yeah, beautiful. So your soul has been knocking, and you just are missing the call because you're too busy, you're too distracted, you're preoccupied, or you've kind of lost touch with your sort of meditation routines, and you're not quite able to hear the knock. So it's really time for you to go within and rediscover this light, because your soul is trying to open a door for you, and it's trying to lead you on a very destined journey. I'm hearing that line from the Killers song, Destiny is Calling. I'm not going to sing it, but I just fully heard the Killers, like, basically, you know how they kind of like yell sing? I just heard Destiny is Calling. Open up your, what is it? Open up my eager mind, Mr. Brightside. He could be Mr. Brightside. He's quite bright. Okay, stop it, Felicia. So anyways, yes, your soul's calling you, and you need to answer the call, because it's trying to guide you somewhere that's going to essentially be very fulfilling. It's going to be full of light. It could potentially bring a lot of light to others, or a lot of light to the whole world. But mostly it's going to really light up your life and light up your soul. So the first deck we'll go to is the Work Your Light Oracle, and we'll grab a few cards out of here. Oh yeah, you guys are overstimulated. I feel like I just got a rush of energy through my body, and like I'm already overstimulated. Like I need to get grounded, and I need to like release some energy. I've been doing a lot of readings today. I haven't meditated in a few days, so I'm already very overstimulated, but this reading is making me even more overstimulated. Like I feel like I'm starting to talk quite fast. I feel like I've got a lot of energy. I'm tapping things, and so you guys need to, I can already tell you need to ground, maybe get off social media, technology and stuff, detox, and really get back to your center and just sort of get rid of all that excess sort of stimulation that's running through your body. See, I feel like I need to shake my hands. Okay, so let's get your cards. Funnily enough, we do want 3 cards. So, all right, let's take them. Let's take them. I was going to pull them myself, but we will do it. Interesting. We got the card play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So you're not distracted because you're having fun or anything, or you're it doesn't seem like you're distracted doing things that you fully love doing. It seems you're more distracted by like burdens, responsibilities, real 3D shit. Because yeah, you're being told to play, celebrate, have fun, and not take life so seriously, really. Like she's literally bathing, maybe even dancing in a glass of champagne, it looks like to me. So maybe you need to get out and have a drink with the girls, with the boys. Maybe you need to go on a road trip. Maybe you need to, is that a magic carpet? Maybe you need to go on a trip, get it? If that's your thing. I'm not encouraging, oh my god, I can't believe I just said that on a YouTube video. Moving on, Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So this has been a bit of a collective message, not the Mintakan, but the underlying longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So every group has got the message of basically being a starseed, and just struggling with that feeling of like they don't belong, or a longing for home but not really knowing where home is. Or maybe you're just someone that's very much a homebody. You like to stay in your comfort zone where you're safe and you're, you know, sort of in your cocoon, away from the nastiness in the world, away from the corruption, the negativity, you know, all of that stuff that's difficult to deal with when you're not used to polarity. And by that I mean, if you're a starseed, you've usually existed on other planets or in other dimensions where you're literally living and breathing unconditional love, and that's pretty much all that exists. So to come to Earth, where it's a 3D dimension, or the third dimension I should say, and to have all of this darkness that exists in the world, that can be difficult to deal with, and it can make a lot of starseeds want to sort of return home, return to the stars, because it gets depressing essentially. So what I want to say is that you're not the only one, so don't feel alone or isolated or like you don't belong. There's definitely communities and people that resonate with you and that are feeling the same. So, you know, don't try not to get too caught up in the emotions that you're feeling with that, and definitely like having fun and not being so serious is definitely a way to help with those feelings, and really just getting out around people that you love, people that love you, etc. Oh, the great gathering, it's all coming together, intuitive hits, soul tribe. So like I was just saying, you're not alone, and it seems like the people that resonate with you are being attracted towards you. It's like you're all starting to come together. All of the light workers are starting to seek each other out, or all of the star seeds. Everyone's sort of coming together. You know, the intuition's expanding and it's leading everyone towards each other. And basically, yeah, it's really a time where people that you really resonate with are going to start coming out of the woodwork, and you're going to start forming new connections that are very trustworthy, where your beliefs and your values are very aligned, and people that really have you in your best spirits and encourage you to be your best self. So you could very well have a connection to Mintaka. You could have had a lifetime on Mintaka. They were mermaids, mermen, merpeople. And their planet was like, I forget now, but I think it was like 90% water. And their planet got destroyed. So people with a connection to Mintaka really especially struggle with the longing for home, because their home actually no longer exists. They cannot return home ever. So I know this because, fun fact, my first original ever incarnation was on Mintaka. So I did some research, and it's very hard to find information on, but I did find a lot, and it really made my visions make a lot of sense once I discovered more about the planet, because I was having these visions of like this water planet, and all this chaos was happening. And then once I found out about who I was as a species and what the planet was about, then it started to make a lot of sense, and the vision started to make a lot of sense. But yeah, excuse me, just had a quick drink. So we'll move on to the Starseed deck now, and we'll get a few more cards. Oh, we had a flipper. So we've got lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. And we have got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. Again, longing for home, homesick from the stars. It just keeps coming back out, no matter how much I shuffle, no matter how randomly I pull the cards. It's a collective thing, obviously. All right, so I'm not even going to go too much into that, because I really did just cover a lot of it, and I'm just sort of repeating myself. But essentially, this is just that feeling again of feeling like you don't belong, and longing for the stars, being homesick for the stars, wanting to return back to those dimensions of unconditional love and light, because things here can get quite difficult. But, you know, this is a phase. It's not forever. Although things are a little bit dark at the moment, your soul really is trying to light up your world. It's got, you know, your soul's knocking. It's got the light. You just need to hear it and trust it. Perhaps by not taking things so seriously, enjoying life a little bit more, finding reasons to celebrate, and shifting your energy, really shaking your energy up and lifting yourself out of this funk. But then also being willing to lift the veil and go within and, you know, journey where your soul's pulling you, questioning everything, like looking further into everything that comes through to you intuitively, trusting those intuitive hits, doing further discovery. If you're interested in something, it's about following that curiosity pull, you know, and then also being willing to lift the veil and say, does this resonate with me anymore? Is this aligned with me anymore? Have I outgrown this? Does it work for me? What does it offer me? And being willing enough to acknowledge when something needs to, you know, be cut off or removed or released. It takes getting very honest with yourself and being very accountable with yourself, because it does seem like there could be something that is crossing your boundaries, or something that you've become codependent on that needs to go specifically. But you need to be willing to see this very truthfully if you want to be able to admit it to yourself. So, yeah, it's like being willing to peel the curtains back and say, like, yeah, okay, this is how it really is, and taking accountability for that. All right, so we'll go into the tarot section. Your reading is moving quite quickly, but it's a little bit more straightforward than the others. It's like they're all quite similar messages, but it's like you're all at slightly different parts of your journey throughout all of the piles for this reading, which is quite interesting. But I guess it shows that, you know, collective themes, collective advice, collective energies can resonate very generally, but in very unique ways for each person. Is there anything else that I might have missed, or anything that we wish to add that would help group 3 spiritually grow or spiritually evolve? Okay, so we've got the Devil, the 3 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, and the 7 of Swords in reverse, which I normally would never take 4 cards at once, but that's exactly the amount that I want for this section as well, and with a bottom deck too. So we've got the Page of Wands on the bottom. Yeah, so you're definitely codependent or attached to something that's not serving you. But the good news is that I do see you overcoming this, and it being a cause for celebration. So this is something that you have previously tried to ignore or tried to cling on to for dear life. Maybe you haven't been willing to acknowledge that it is something that takes more from you than it gives. Or it's just something that you continued to avoid, or just generally not face. But the Page of Wands kind of tells me that first of all, the 3 of Cups can be a card of drinking. So I don't know if for some of you might be cutting alcohol out of your system, or any other type of sort of like drug or influence type thing. I'm not completely sure how much I'm allowed to say on YouTube, so I'm just trying to be careful. But you definitely have the opportunity to have a reason to rejoice and celebrate over this. So it does look like you can liberate yourself of it and free yourself of it. But again, it does take you being willing enough to acknowledge it and be accountable for the fact that it is taking more than it gives, or there's more cons than there are pros, or whatever the case, however it resonates. The Page of Cards is really about being like open and curious. So I feel like you're being maybe you're curious about the idea of releasing this attachment, but you haven't been able to fully follow through yet. And maybe that's the secret to you growing or evolving, is following through and liberating yourself of this. You know, the Devil could represent anything. It could even represent a fear, a way of thinking, a limiting belief, obsessions, addictions, anything that seems to have power over you. So it's very broad, but however it resonates for you, it's like you haven't been willing to acknowledge it, but now you're more open and more receptive to the fact that maybe it does have a little bit of power over you and it needs to go. I do think that maybe whatever it is, once you do cut it out, your life force energy seems to increase and you seem to be more energetic and enthusiastic for life. At least for some of you, I'm getting that message. Yeah, so where are we at? Yeah, this is definitely going a little bit quicker. I'll keep going with the reading as I did with the others, and then depending on how much sooner we finish up, maybe I'll try and pull an extra couple of cards or something just to keep them a little bit more even. But to be fair, I don't even fully remember how long they went, but I know that group 2 was actually probably a bit longer than group 1, so I'm talking out loud when I should just be quiet. Okay, so what's the affirmation for group 3 to work with, please? So this says, I express myself in positive ways. And then the longer version is, everything I do is by choice. I can choose what to say, do, and think. Yeah, so something tells me that there is something that you do, say, or think that you feel like you don't have control over. So again, that's that devil card coming through. And this is telling you that you have the power here and everything you do is by choice. It's your free will. You choose what to say, you choose what to do, and you choose what you think. So you either need to be accountable for that or use that perspective to take your power back over whatever this is that seems to have power over what you're saying, doing, and thinking. And then we're going to get you a spirit animal. So the intention with the spirit animal is that spirit will show you this animal in some way, shape, or form following viewing this reading to validate the messages that you have received. But also whenever you do see this animal, it's basically just bringing you back to the animal's advice in that moment. So we'll find out what yours is, group 3. What's group 3's spirit animal, please? And what is the advice it has for group 3? So we've got the owl, and this says sight. It says detach your emotions and I'm going to start that again. Detach your emotions from situations that you cannot control. Yeah, so it's almost like an emotional tie to whatever this is, because it seems that in order to see the higher perspective or act upon your highest good, you need to detach your emotions from this situation that you can't control. So there's an emotional cord attached to whatever this is. And until you treat the emotion or the emotional root, you're not going to be able to fully release the symptom, which is like the addiction or the attachment or whatever the devil's representing in your circumstances. But yeah, the owls are very much known for wisdom and knowledge. And this owl is up in the sky, so I'm thinking higher wisdom, higher knowledge. And I think this is the time where you really need to tune into your higher wisdom and your higher knowledge and take a higher perspective on this, to see it for what it really is and to not lie to yourself anymore. But as I did say before, I do feel like you're more open to the truth now. And you may be there already, and now it's just about treating the issue. And this card's very important, I feel, because it's letting you know that there's an emotional cord that needs to be dealt with to deal with the it's like the surface level symptom is this toxic attachment or addiction or bond or whatever. That's the surface level. But then at the root, so it's like it's an anchor connected all the way to the surface of the ocean that it's floating on, the anchor is the real problem, and you need to deal with the anchor in order to really free you from the surface level attachment. I think that made sense. Look, I don't really feel like I want to keep pushing. The only thing that I feel comfortable adding is an essential oil, just because it might offer something to you guys that can help with releasing what you're trying to release, seeing as it is quite toxic or quite deeply rooted. Alright, so what is the essential oil that can help group 3 the most with their growth and advice in this message? So you've got black spruce, and it says restores energy and builds confidence. So maybe, confidence is what's required for you to really leave this behind once and for all. And, nice high energy levels as well to keep you feeling motivated and enthusiastic about it. Will we? Where's my book? There it is. I'll quickly skim through and see if there's anything important that we need to know about the black spruce. Okay, so it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. It's an essential oil that can help restore health to fatigued or stressed out adrenal glands. Adrenal glands are involved in many bodily functions, so this can improve outcomes for other health conditions, including anxiety, back or joint pain, fatigue, fearfulness, high blood pressure, a low libido, and inability to cope with stress. Spruce helps alleviate fatigue in a healthy, non-stimulating way. Hey, do you remember at the very beginning when I was like, you guys are very overstimulated? That was this group, I'm sure. Amazing. So spruce is something that's going to help you in a non-stimulating way, which is perfect for you because you obviously don't need any extra stimulation. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So spruce helps alleviate fatigue in a healthy, non-stimulating way due to its ability to simultaneously calm the nervous system and ease stress. It has expectorant effects as well, making it an excellent choice for treating asthma, bronchitis, or coughs due to lung congestion. Black spruce essential oil contains a few different compounds known as monoterpenes that boost energy, improve the health of the nervous system, and aid the adrenals. Spruce essential oil can boost self-confidence and self-acceptance and alleviate feelings of indecisiveness or feeling as though one is unable to make a difference. It is believed to connect people to their potential, to encourage forgiveness, to stop limiting beliefs from holding them back, and to confidently put themselves into the world to fully express their potential. Look at that. There's no safety messages. It says safe to apply undiluted, so there's nothing else that it needs to specify in terms of using it safely. So that's me, guys. I can wrap this one up for you. I hope that you've enjoyed these messages today. Don't forget to like and comment. Let me know how it resonated for you if you're comfortable with that. Subscribe for future uploads if you're interested. I'll be posting 2 to 3 times a week. But other than that, stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.